What does Michael Saylor think of the 4-year cycle? What about Cathie Wood, your favorite gilf? That you most certainly would. I got a response here for Chris, friends. Have a listen. So Michael Chad Saylor has been asked about the 4-year cycle. And this is his exact expression. He said, it's a bunch of hocus pocus. He said, your models of whatever it is you're using for Bitcoin, he goes, you're playing on a pinball machine. Literally, you're playing on a pinball machine. And he goes, basically, Godzilla has come and just stepped on the building and crushed your pinball machine. That's what his imagery and his metaphor of the 4-year cycle is. It's a fantastical way of saying this time is different, right? But you got to remember as well, 4-year cycle, the thing is we've been running now the longest forever. It's the longest period of time we've been running now. So in their mind, they're like, see, 4-year cycle doesn't work. Yeah, but it can be 4.5-year cycle. Yeah, that's the funny part, sir. So we're like saying, oh yeah, 4-year cycle is broken. Okay, it could be 4.5 years. We end at the end of this year. In their mind, though, they're like, nah, more like a 10-year cycle, right? Which is exactly how you get euphoria. Because you need them. You know, if you notice, sir, people who don't believe in the 4-year cycle, those institutions and, you know, all those people, they don't say, oh, it's not 4 years, it's 4.5 years. They don't say that. They say, no, we're going to run to 2028, 2029, 2030. That's how you get the trap. That's how we get euphoria. Because you need someone to be buying with the ferocity at the end of this year, with the full confidence in their mind that next year's booked. It's in the bag. They're locked in. They're going to make money. And 2027 and 2028. That's what you need. That's how we ended up getting that, you know. But then guess what? In the next cycle after that, they're going to remember this one. And they're going to be like, it might be a 4 or 5-year cycle. You know, so that's how it depends on the crowd. But yeah, it's because they've come in now. They really do think they are the smart ones. I'm like, no, it doesn't apply to us. But it's a global debt rollover cycle, bro. It's not even the Bitcoin halvening. It's US government debt. Bitcoin's got an 89.5% correlation to global M2. Literally 89.5. So when our global liquidity sinks and the NASDAQ go down and Bitcoin goes down, our volatility gets crushed on the way down. NASDAQ drops 25%. We drop 70%. And then alts drop 90%, right? So, yeah, that global liquidity, that's it. But we're still waiting for the rollover. They haven't done the rollover because major loser Jerome Powell hasn't cut rates for Trump. He's like, man, I want to do the Ponzi, the rollover of the debt. I don't want to pay you guys 900 billion over the next 3 to 4 years in interest. He goes, I want to spend that on the people. If you cut the interest rates, I don't need to give you the 900 billion. And that's why major loser Jerome Powell, he says, I'm a major loser. I'm a major loser. I'm quite the major loser. That's pretty much what he's like. It's like saying, well, if I let you spend that extra 900 billion out in the economy and in interest, it's probably going to ratchet inflation higher. That's what he's saying. So we'll see some of these cycles and stuff out here, right? I really hope, though, we get, if Bitcoin prints 250, please, man, print 240 to 250K December this year, please. That's like the perfect pin. It's enough for people to say, oh, we're going to 500 next year and 1 million. And it's enough for us to say, hey, man, the 4-year cycle stretched out to almost 5 years. We extended the cycle. Bitcoin ran up for the longest it's ever been. It didn't even diminish gains. All the signs of institutional stuff is here. So we did run on for longer. We did fulfill this time is different. But with everyone, they're like, no. We're never going down, baby. I hope we get to that point, sir. So when you look at it all together, friends, I think it's obvious. The cycle is really repeating. It's a bit different each time. Players, the numbers, but the similarities of emotions, okay, that's very prominent. It is. And emotions in terms of like you start from the floor, that's when the cycles start. They bottom out. And there's a build-up of strength, which is rising and falling. 3 steps forward, 2 steps back. 3 steps forward, 2 steps back. On and on and on. Gaining strength, powering on, and charging up. That's all we have. The Bitcoin dominance going up, Bitcoin going up, Bitcoin ETF charging on through. It looks like we're never going to diminish. That's what pretty much we're building up to. And then you have the fantastical Ponzi share creation of Michael Saylor offering Ponzi yield 9% forever, or all these other things out here, right? And you even have these friends, like the confidence to come out and say this. Cathie Wood, right? Our favorite gilf, like I said, believes Bitcoin's going to hit 1.5 million American dollars by 2027. I think she's smoking a bit of that, a bit of the fancy, you know what I mean? She's smoking a bit of it, okay? Dare I say she's probably on the pipe. Share some. So we got to think, friends, like to even call for a $1.5 million Bitcoin, it makes you a bit scared, but we're still a bit skeptical. That's just the thing. They always say those numbers. We're going up forever, but there's going to be a point where we're actually going to believe it for a bit. You're going to blink. That's why I really hope my exotic top signal list, everything starts cranking, $1 billion ICO raised publicly at the top. Like, we might even crank that, friends. Pump Fund raised $600 million in literally 10 minutes. Right? So what's it going to look like at the top, man? It's going to be wild, okay? I do wonder, man, Bitcoin 250K Dikembe. I don't want to, die by that sword. But it's something I'm thinking about because, Crypto Cobie said that. He said the road is hard, Metapod hard, family friendly, between 80K and 100K. That's a road. He said that's a hard road for Bitcoin. He goes, it's an easy road from 100 to 250. Okay, that's the data point, Crypto Cobie. Then you have Richie Fart. He also said, Bitcoin 240, 250. It's just interesting. It must be like their brains have been like, you know what? We were meant to diminish, but we're not. We might actually just do the same multiple for Bitcoin breaking the high, but it's different. It's taking longer, and there's institutional players, so you get that multiplier effect. You don't have any of these. You never have anything fully concrete enough to tell you that you're completely on the right path or not. It's always a game of probabilities, right? And I just got to remind you as well, friends. So during these periods of time, we have Andre making the most of the situation. Just, I had to throw that in. I had to, because it's just deep cycle analysis. I just open up. Hey, the friendship cult. What's in my Telegram? That's literally the first video I just see. Just smacks me in the face, friends. So, shout out to Andre. By the way, he's making all of those videos on his phone. So, these are the stories that we're gonna remember. These are the golden ages, friends. This is the golden age where you're watching me in a family-friendly way, of course, with my clothes on, and you understand network effects, and you understand there's a difference between crypto and stocks, right? All the VC dudes, they come into crypto and they try to make crypto like stocks. They go, oh, we need a retailer product. We need to sell everybody their unicorn product. And then I'm telling everyone, Habib, we already have the unicorn product, okay? It was called Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is literally a freaking religion, and it went from a meme to a cult with it for religion. Okay, you understand it? The people are the users. The owners of the land are the users. That's the difference between stocks and crypto. Stocks follow their earnings over time. Bitcoin and crypto, they just follow the people joining the network over time. Okay, and you might say, oh, but why do people join the network? Because they're there to speculate. Well, just chill out, bro. People live in cities. They're not the richest cities in the world. Yeah? People just occupy land. It's not the best land. It's not the most vibrant land. It's not the most fertile land. They just have it for whatever the sake it is. Well, maybe their families need the land. Maybe they were born in that country. Maybe they just like wherever they've been. Maybe they used to live there and they've returned back. The crypto's digital land. That's what it is, a digital network. It's just a different game. Right? People wear logos just because they might be indoctrinated to something early. Like, you might have been told XRP was going to hit $10,000 5 years ago, so you're still in the army. You know what I mean? So just give me these examples out here. So you see, it already happens around the world. I'm not even trying to tell you anything different. We already know it, man. Like, if a country comes out and they go, oh, well, guess what? We're going to make our tax rates really low. Guess what, man? Everybody in America's not moving to your country just because you put the tax rates low. It might help for a bit, but you're not getting like 150 of the richest 150,000 of the richest Americans to go move to your country. They don't care about your tax rate, bro. They got their families, they got their networks, they own the land. You know what I mean? So crypto and stocks are a different meme. You know, also the new people coming in, they understand it's a network. You know, Michael Saylor and Cathie Wood, they do understand it, right? But you know, man, like eventually there hits a point where they really want to believe 2 + 2 is 7. You know, there's going to be a point, and they'll convince everybody for that moment of time 2 + 2 is actually 7. And I mean, we're going to see some fantastical euphoric waves, right? And I really do hope, friends, we see some sort of clear, transparent price action where Michael Saylor somehow grabs $50 billion. He's buying. The first time he does it, smacks it up. You know, second time he does it, smacks it up. Third time he does it, smacks it, goes up and retraces doji. I hope we see something like that. You know, I'm just don't go concrete on those numbers, but I want to see that. I'm like, did you notice how Michael Saylor, he just bought a crap load of BTC on the Ponzi leverage and it couldn't go up? Okay, we want to build into that, right? But right now he's got to look like a hero. So the building into the hero part, that gets everybody in, you know. Where everyone says, forget the 4-year cycle. There are no cycles. You know, so, man, it's going to be great. But yeah, man, it really might come back down to being that clear. It's just, you know, we're not there yet. We're not there yet, right? But I just want you to know these are the things we're dealing with. So you got to remember, man, you just don't want to drink the Kool-Aid. You drink the Kool-Aid, it's over. Okay? Our number one goal is just not to drink the Kool-Aid. We see the bubble. We smell the bubble. We touch the bubble without popping it. We appreciate the bubble. Okay? We swim at the bubble. It's an amazing bubble. But you just don't drink the Kool-Aid at the end, all right? That would be equivalent of the turbo leverage. You know, the, hey, I'm buying in at $220,000 BTC. We're definitely going up only. Okay? The government can't let this thing go down. That's what I'm really telling you, friend. This is, well, look, talk to any of us from the last cycle. You know, it's been a long freaking time, bro. You screw this up, that's 4.5 years you can't get back. You understand? And then you got to find another your friend some in the next bear market. And God knows what type of new memes are happening around there. And I don't mean meme coins. I mean like new chain and what's going on here, right? But we're all in this together and we're going to make it. Like, subscribe, belly button, all. Catch you soon.